Hello there guys, and welcome to another video here on my channel. Today we are going to do an extended range test for the brand new Volkswagen iD.Buzz. It is a car I have been waiting for so long because it is a true revival, a modern day revival of an extremely popular one made by Volkswagen. We're talking about the Type 2, also known as the Bully here in Europe, and not with a Y but with an I. It was a car that wrote history. It was so prevalent and it was so popular that it became a pop icon. I mean, if you think about Scooby-Doo, don't overlook Scooby-Doo. The car the gang was driving was a Volkswagen Transporter, a Type 2. So this is the modern day version of Scooby-Doo's van, and today we are going to do a range test with it, and I'm going to show you around the car before we hop in it and go for a ride. So let's take a look. This is it, and it is absolutely brilliant. I've had it for 24 hours now, and I absolutely love it. I didn't expect to like it this much, and I'm going to tell you something about it that you probably didn't expect. Now, in its incipient phase, now that there are very few of these cars on the road, you will get a lot of attention if you drive one. Never mind Ferrari, never mind Lamborghini, never mind supercars. This is the car you want to get if you want to attract the ladies, because I have been approached by a huge number of women since I started driving this car, because it is very damn cute. This two-tone color definitely makes it pop everywhere you go, and everyone wants to know what it is, how much it costs, and how far you can drive it. So the design does fit in the MEB platform overall. The MEB platform is the electric platform from Volkswagen that we've seen used on the ID.3 and the ID.4, and this car definitely resembles those cars, but also the original. We have a huge Volkswagen logo over here on the front side of the car, and the shape does hark back to the original Type 2. I'm gonna film it from this side to have better light. Yeah, it looks brilliant, drives really well. So this is the MEB platform. So basically what we have is an electric modular platform. We have an electric motor at the back, just like the original, and just like the original we have some design cues over here. The original had the engine mounted at the back. We have these three stripes over here that remind us of that thing, even though this electric motor doesn't really need cooling. So in the floor we have the biggest battery Volkswagen is offering on this platform right now, a 77 kilowatt hour battery. That's the usable capacity. The total capacity of the battery is 82 kilowatt hours, but we're only interested in the usable capacity, 77 kilowatt hours. On the rear axle we have an electric motor good for 204 horsepower, and that's it. The car can recharge at up to 135 kilowatts if you want it to, so it will recharge from 10% to 80% in about 30 minutes if you have such a fast recharging station. But it looks absolutely brilliant. We have 20-inch wheels on this car and winter tires, and that did affect the results of my range test, as you're about to see. So let's take a look at the back. I love the fact that we have these huge badges on it, because they do hark back to the original. So let's open the back. Volkswagen doesn't really want to sell this car as a van. They really want to sell it as a let's say alternative to an SUV, and it definitely drives like an SUV, but it has a lot more space over here in the back. So what you can see here is a total space of over 1,100 liters, so it's quite amazing. This is an optional feature available on the style models that actually gives you a higher boot floor. That's because you can fold the rear seats, and if you don't have this shelf over here, the floor will have a huge hiccup right where the seats fold. So if you have this option, if you fold the seats, you will have a completely flat surface over here, and you can actually use a mattress and you can sleep in the car if you want to go travel in the spirit of the original. Also, this feature brings you a couple of storage spaces over here, cubbies, just like you would find at an IKEA store, if you will. They are modular, you can take them out and so on. So yeah, I really love the space in this car. There's a lot of it. This is the short wheelbase version. There will be a long wheelbase version in the future, and I can't wait to see that. That's the version that will be offered with 3-row seating. This car only has 2 rows of seats. Yeah, they are adjustable. You can adjust the level of incline, and the materials used are all eco-friendly. There's no leather. Everything in here is either vegan leather or textile, and Volkswagen says that all the materials have been sourced from recycled plastics, so that's a big plus for Volkswagen. You can slide these seats front and backwards, and you can fold them. Let me show you how you can fold the rear seats. Just like that, you can fold them. Well, if my seat wasn't this far back. Yeah, so we have trays over here for the rear passengers. You have USB charging ports in the doors, as you can see over there. And I like the color scheme of this car, the yellow, that's similar to the pomelo yellow on the outside, and the white interior is really nice to look at, but I'm terribly afraid that on the long run it will get quite dirty and you will have to clean it quite often. And I don't like the fact that the rear windows do not open, but they can be electrically operated. You have a button over here. This is an optional feature, not necessarily one I would take, but it is a cool trick to do at a stoplight or maybe when you take your kids to school. And this is the interior on the front side. These are the seats, and you have 2 armrests for each front seat to feel like a real boss when you drive it. And the driving position is really high, just like you would expect in an SUV or a van. Other than that, everything in here is similar to what you would find on an ID car, the ID.3, the ID.4, the Cupra Born, and so on. We still have the touch sensitive buttons on the steering wheel, which I really don't like. Everything is touch sensitive, including here. Yeah, but I do like the layered design of the dashboard. You have 1, 2, 3 layers, and I love the way they integrated the vents over here, and I love the fact that we have wood on the dashboard. We have storage spaces over there, a huge glove compartment. We have more storage spaces here. This is foldable. There's a wireless charging pad inside this let's say phone holder area. We have 2 USB charging ports over there. We have more storage space over here, huge door pockets with everything you need. And on the other side, on the passenger side, you have a USB charging port over here where we have the trunk release button. I think the materials used on the doors could be better, but it's really not such a big issue. So we have an adjustable rack over here. This can be actually taken out from the car. It has some more storage space over here at the bottom, so you can stick stuff inside this, but you can actually remove it and you can hop in the back without having to go outside the car. Now let's take a look at what we're here for, right? So we are trying to determine just how far you can travel with this car. Now, I did a inner city tour already of 140 kilometers, or almost 140 kilometers, with an average speed of 25 kilometers an hour. And the energy consumption figures, as you can see, stabilized. Yeah, I don't need that. So, and the energy consumption figures stabilized at around 28.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered. Now, considering the car has a usable battery of around 77 kilowatt hours, that means you could probably get around 280 kilometers of range with this car. But there are a few mentions I have to make here. First of all, it was really cold. Right now the sun came up and things started to improve, but last night while I did most of my driving, the temperature outside was close to freezing, so about 3 degrees Celsius. So that really takes a toll on the car's economy numbers. Then there's the fact that we are running on winter tires. They're not efficient tires, so that will also take a toll on the result. So you could consider this to be a worst case scenario, if you will. Now we're gonna hop on the on a series of B roads. We still have 51% of the battery charge left, with 168 kilometers of range left. That's the estimate of the car. So we're gonna hop on B roads and we're gonna keep this car at an average speed of about 70 kilometers an hour to see what kind of numbers we get. Then we're gonna hop on the highway and see what kind of numbers we get over there, and then we're gonna drop some conclusions. Okay, so we just finished the B-road section of our real-life range test. Today I did a double take, so let's take a look at the numbers we got. As you can see, I covered 93 kilometers with an average speed of 65 kilometers an hour, and the energy consumption is 18.5 kilowatt hours. We still have 22% of the battery left, and a range of 93 kilometers. That said, this should give us a range of about 400 kilometers with a single charge, close to what Volkswagen claims for this car, considering the battery has a usable capacity of 77 kilowatt hours. So now I'm going to recharge it and we're going to set off on the highway to see what kind of numbers we get over there. Okay, so we just finished the highway section of our real-life range test of the Volkswagen iD.Buzz Pro, and I have to say I am quite disappointed, but I should have seen it coming. Let's take a look at the numbers and then we're going to talk about them. So as you can see, I covered 51 kilometers on the highway. The average speed did drop because I had to pull over in order to shoot this video, and the average energy consumption was a bit higher when I pulled off the highway, at around 33.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered. And even though I left the city with 98% of the battery charged, we only have 66% left. There are a couple of explanations for this huge increase in energy consumption. So this is a really heavy car, 2.5 tons at the minimum, so with no occupants. There are two of us in the car right now, so the weight did increase quite a lot, and the exterior temperature is rather low. It was under 10 degrees Celsius at most of the time, and I didn't cut on any creature comforts. I kept the car at 130 and 120 kilometers an hour. So yeah, this means you could probably do about 230 kilometers with a full charge. Not quite what I expected, but then this is a van compared to the ID.4, for example, which uses the same platform, the same engines, and the same motors and the same battery. It has a worse drag coefficient, 0.285. So, and since this is a van, you would probably use it as a van. So probably you would have 3 more people in the back, some luggage as well, and that range would probably drop even more. Well, it is what it is, but I still love this car. It's such an attention seeker, and you will absolutely love it too if you get to drive it, and you probably wouldn't care about range that much. This has been my real life range test. To recap, around town 270 280 kilometers on a series of B roads at an average speed of 60 kilometers an hour. I got about 400 kilometers of range, and on the highway 230. That said, this has been my video with the iD.Buzz. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep this channel alive. Until next time, ciao.